if you want to blame anybody for me doing this amazing event, which does take a lot of time and effort and work, you can blame Miss Jennifer, who's right here. She was the inspiration and the motivation and a kick in the assets when I was like, you know what, it's my birthday and I can quit if I want to. And she's like, no, you really want to do this, don't you? I'm like, yes, I do. So let me do it. Let me follow through. Let me get the most amazing people together and we can have fun. We can connect, we can collaborate and make a world a better place. So, Ms. Jennifer, would you like to say a few words, maybe share a story, or share with us how you can be served when it comes to one relationship way or this purple magic wand?
Hello, really. Happy birthday, Alexi. This has been a beautiful experience and a wonderful birthday party. A wonderful way for us to celebrate you and for you to honor yourself, for you to honor yourself, for you to honor your gift, for you to be catapulted into a new level of purpose and purpose fulfillment. So thank you. I am normally quiet. I experienced all forms of abuse as a child. And so as I heal that part of myself now, I recognize that I am 42. I'll be 43 next month. But there are some boundaries that I deserve to have in place when I come out to be seen. And so I'm working through those things. And that's the story of one relationship away that I want to share in this brief moment, Alexi. And it is your gift to see that vulnerable place in all of us. I believe that you have a gift to see the child within. And so because I felt seen the first time that I met you, that presence of unconditional love that you bring, that you provide, that you project, that you embody, that is what helped me. That's what I needed so that I could heal this part of myself now. I do believe that when you can experience the fullness of your own truth, that is the fullness of love, which is the fullness of God. So thank you for that. I will continue to develop and design the program that I am working on with Alexi. And you are welcome to share any details about that you would like, Alexi. However, when I do complete this segment, I will be very glad and honored to be more public with myself, my gift, and that purpose.
Well, Ms. Jenny, for before you actually, go off and mute yourself again, would you be willing to share some details about how we even got in the same room? I'm just saying it was a powerful story, and I would say it would qualify as a one relationship waste.
Well, I can say, eek, where do you begin with this one? That I am a board certified trainer and NLP practitioner. And I was working as a room manager in a training room for public speakers who want to take their story and profit, from stage. And so on February 22nd, there I was in this 5-day training, and I met a mutual, one of Alexi's friends. And so I met her. I heard her say to her colleagues, that she was working an event in LA. Now, I live in the Atlanta area. And so she said that she was working this event and she would love to have volunteers to help work her booth at this big event in LA. Well, I heard it, but tuned it out because I'm at the back of the room. Well, on day 4 of the 5-day event, she came to the back of the room and she sat down. She sat down behind the table. Who does that? One of Alexi's friends. So she sat down and she said, I would love to have you at my event. I wish I could have you there. And I said, well, let me look. Let's see what we need to make this happen. And I decided to Thelma and Louise this trip with her, and we drove cross country. And so I was blessed to meet Alexi, and that is when I felt seen by him and decided to come out and play and let my kid be free so that I can be purposeful here.
I love that. Thank you for sharing. And one of the elements that I did want to highlight about your experience, since we're sharing that experience, is that you first showed up in service, right? She was looking for volunteers. It wasn't convenient even for you to all of a sudden drop everything and go to LA. And yet, speaking of Alma's gift, right? When you listen to your intuition, when you show up in service, the universe, God, will conspire in your favor. Because when we originally met, Jennifer said one thing: I'm just starting. It was a big event that we met at. She was supporting a dear friend of mine. And I said, I see you. You deserve to be safe and you deserve to be seen. That was the first words that we exchanged when we connected. And she said, well, I would love to build something like this. And I'm like, do you realize that God delivered you to one of the best people who can do it with you without you going through, all the frogs that you would have to kiss to arrive at the destination? And so I just invite you to really consider taking a chance, trusting your intuition, and showing up in service, and seeing how your life will shift. Anybody else would like to share a story or have a comment or even a question?
I just want to continue with the thought that, so if I had just realized, accepted a truth of my childhood experience, and one in for which I don't have conscious recall. However, I accepted the pain, right? And so then I get in the car driving cross country and I meet Alexi. And when he asked, hey, who are you? How can I help you? And I said, I believe that I can just speak candidly to you. I believe you can handle it. I just started talking, right? Coach Pam was talking earlier. She didn't know what was going to come out of her mouth. She just started speaking. And so because of that ability to honor that part of yourself and your gift, so he was able to see me and in response said to me saying, I'm just coming into it now. And he said, you deserve to be safe when you choose to be seen. He didn't know what I was resolving, but he saw me. And so that did it. And of course, as he said, I was committed to volunteering, to assisting, to serving. And he said, because of your commitment and sacrifice to a stranger, someone you don't even know, now I want to pay it forward for you. And so I just wanted to highlight that part. There's something to be said about vulnerability. I believe that that's one of our greatest gifts. So my ability to feel from that place and to honor that place of myself is what helps you to feel connected to me, even as I share this part of my story. Thank you, Alexi.
It's my pleasure. Alma?
Yeah, thank you, Jen. It's so funny because that one relationship away, I had the best friends in my soul family is Jennifer and Jessica because of Alexi, and we've had the best time. And through that, I'm meeting other people, and it's all because of Alexi in that one relationship away. And it's just been amazing. And to trust yourself, your instincts to go with that one person. And as soon as you ask, you will, that safety, Jen, when you needed someone to, and that what Alex said, being safe, this is where it's at. When you start to ask and you shall receive. And it's been amazing in this last few months, because when we ask, we shall receive. Alexi was there to help. And I really want to say thank you. This is an amazing, to know that even not just, look at all the relationships, every one of us, even the ones, if you're not speaking, the connections you're making now. So Thank you, and blessings to everybody.
You guys are something else, and you're not gonna make me cry. Because I almost gave up on this idea and this dream of one relationship boy a few years ago, because I was at my end of putting money into it, time, and it wasn't working. And you may have seen a testimonial on the landing page from Ms. Diddy Wang. She was somebody that I met at an event of a friend of mine, and we sat together. That's how we knew each other. And at lunchtime, we actually had a conversation, and something pulled me to ask her, "Are you a speaker?" She said, "Yes, I'm a speaker. I'm starting my career." And I said, "Would you like to speak in India, um, in front of 5,000 women?" And she's, "Yeah, I would love to." Well, in LA, a lot of people talk. Um, but I chose to make one phone call. I connected to amazing women in my life, and they were able to figure out the details. And this is how amazing these women are. The trip was 2 weeks away. Not only did she get her all her shots, the video crew, everything was taken care of. She did an amazing job. They connected. They had an amazing wow experience in India. It changed a lot of women's lives. But one of the things that she didn't know, as part of her application process, they looked at her application, and they ended up giving her an honor of their highest award, which is Woman of the Decade Award. What ended up happening then really shook me, because I was in a meeting and I get this frantic message saying, "Hey, you really don't know what you did. You really don't know what you did." And that was, I think, the extent of the message from what I remember. And I literally walk out of my meeting, because this is somebody that I care about. And I call her back right away and I said, "Are you okay? Is everything okay? Like, do you need help?" And she's, "No, no, I'm okay." And I said, "What about the message? What happened?" She says, "You really don't know what you did." What ended up happening when she won that award, when she was receiving it, her family was in the audience. For the first time in her life, her family saw her greatness. She was a very successful woman by herself in financing, created great success, and yet she was always the ugly duckling in her family. And that moment changed her life. Well, the story does not stop there. Next thing I know, we get busy. About 6 months goes by, and I get a phone call from Didi saying, "Hey, are you going to be at my event?" I'm going, "What event?" I actually had another event literally back to back. She says, "I'm throwing this event in LA. I would like for you to come." And I said, "For you, I'll make it work. I'm going to move some things. I'm going to make it work." And when I showed up, the first beginning of the event, she starts telling the story of how this whole thing came together. And as she's telling the story about us connecting, her going to speaking to India, and then bring this transformational experience back to Los Angeles, I'm seeing over 300 women in that room whose lives are changed. And this is where I get into tears, because for the first time, I'm seeing the full experience and the impact of one relationship away. That it's not about us, it's about those that will follow us, in the future. We don't know what the ripple effect our actions, our kindness, or our service can create. And then I'm going to do a bit of a pivot and talk about an amazing human being and an amazing woman who's very close to my heart. We connected very quickly because we were in the same place of play and service and fun, and that's Miss Cat. She is here early, and if she's willing to entertain me and to play with me, I would love to actually give her a little bit more time than just 30 minutes and have her start early, because I know you will love this amazing inspirational woman who's changing lives, and share a little bit about what she creates and little bit about her story and how that story is changing lives all over the world, because she is a world-known burlesque performer, but she's taking that art form and creating something special. We're collaborating on creating emotional burlesque, those elements from magic, from performance, and being able to offer to people to transform their lives, one person at a time. So Miss Kat, the floor is yours. Thank you so much for coming. You are a highlight, just like each and every one of you being here. When I started this event, I really meant what I said. You being here, whether you're live in this environment, in this event, or you're watching a recording, you're making my dream life happen. And so what I want to do for you is make sure to do everything that I can to help you at least take that first step or the next step towards your dream life, and to increase and accelerate that impact that you're looking to create in the world. Ms. Kat, the floor is yours.
Well, thank you. This is unexpected. I was like, oh, I can chill out for another 10 minutes and listen to everybody else's amazing things. I'm so happy to be here. Thank you so much for inviting me. Exactly what you've just been saying about the ripple effect. I worked for somebody, oh my gosh, like 2015, when I just started out. And this woman was like, oh, have you thought about doing this and thought about doing this? And how about you come and speak to my tribe? And it was going to be 20 people, and it ended up being 120. And I was like, what am I doing? And then during pandemic, I invited her again. I said, hey, I'm doing this online thing. Do you want to invite your tribe to come and hang out? And one of the women who turned up was like, is that Kat LaCohie who taught us in 2015? Oh my God, she helped me leave my husband and buy a new house and do all the things. I'm like, and I had no idea. Like I'd spoken to 120 people in a room for like, half an hour. And then she came to this thing and she just was like, you changed my life. And I had no idea who this person was. I barely recognized her, but we just have no idea who's listening and who's doing the things. And so, yeah, so it's so excited to be here. And I see Pam is here and Michael Maxwell is here. And there's so many beautiful faces that Alexi's been able to introduce me to. So anyone who I don't know, I know you now. Hello. Give me a little wavy hand so I know you're there. Hello. Yes. Beautiful. I love it. So Alexi's come back on. He's like, no way, I'm gonna so we're ready for fun, right? We want more fun in our lives. Is that what we want? We want fun in our lives? Fabulous little wavy hands. We want more confidence in our life, confidence to be exactly who we are. That's what we want. So that is why I'm here. I am Kat LaCohie. I am variety performer, actor, speaker, and coach. Perform all over the world. I'm doing all the things that Alexi said I was amazing at doing. Pam, I see your beautiful face. Hello. So good to see you. So I am working in that world of burlesque variety performance, but I started out being the shy, terrified child at school. And I say that and people are like, yeah, whatevs. I was hiding in the background. I did not want to lift my hand up. I was bullied and criticized for doing whatever it was I was doing. And I learned to just hide. I wore a black t-shirt and black leggings, the same, well, I had 5 different pairs, all exactly the same, so I could wear them all day. I just wore a black t-shirt and leggings, and I hid in the corner, and I didn't put my hand up. And I wanted to learn how to fit in. I wanted to learn what the rules of life were. What music am I supposed to listen to? What opinions am I supposed to have? Who am I supposed to like? Who am I supposed to not like? You tell me, so I can't be criticized anymore, and I'll just be the sheep that follows everybody else. And as I started getting into acting, thinking that would help me out. Because the writers told me what to say, and the director's telling me where to go, and the costume designer is telling me what to wear. So I now don't need to make any decisions about who I am in life, because everybody else will tell me and I can blame them for the decisions. And then as I got older, I realized that that's all a massive big lie, and that the beauty of a fantastic actor is that they bring themselves to the role. And it's not, how do you play Hamlet? It's, have you seen Kat LaCohie play Hamlet? Have you seen Alexi play Hamlet? Have you seen Pam play Hamlet? It's their version of it, right? I want to see Pam play Hamlet. for sure. That's why we pay good money to go and see Tom Hanks do Hamlet. But then the next week we'll pay good money to go and see John Hamm do Hamlet, because it's not who got it right and who didn't get it right. It's their version of it. So how could I be a good actor if I had no idea who I was and what I really stood for? So this is where burlesque comes in. When I got into burlesque, and people ask me more about burlesque when I've sort of had my chat. Burlesque is a performance art medium, usually solo performance. People will think about chorus line dancers, feather fans and boas, and it's a whole group of people, showgirls dancing together. That's a really misconceived conception, I guess is a word. For me, the beauty of burlesque is the solo performer. And you are creating a piece of art. You're choosing the music, you're choosing your costume, you're choosing your movement, not necessarily choreography, to create a performance art piece where you get to self-express. You can get to celebrate yourself. You get to do a comedy piece. You get to be powerful. You get to be any version of yourself and to celebrate that on stage in front of the audience. And so for me, that practice was really eye-opening, because I'd been in the world of, well, tell me what the music is, give me the choreography, give me the costume I have to wear, I will be your little prop puppet and do what you want me to do. And suddenly given that ability to say, maybe I want to do this type of music, maybe I want to wear this type of outfit, and to really have that time to explore who I was, and then bring that person on stage and get applause and smiles and laughter and encouragement. And now I'm on stage being encouraged for being exactly who I am, rather than being criticized and pushed down and all that stuff. So that's where I come from. And the reason I'm super passionate about that is because after I'd got into this world of burlesque and had started to discover who I was and to share myself with the world, I looked back at my life and realized how much opportunity and experience I had missed out on because I had been too scared, right? I see Jennifer like nodding away. I see Alma nodding away. I see Lexi nodding away, right? Pam's nodding away. Because I was too scared. Oh, I want to do this thing, but what are they going to say? What are they going to think? What are they going to do? Oh my gosh, what is society going to do and say and think if I dare to do that thing? And so I wouldn't do it. And I am here because I don't want that to be you. I don't want you to now start making yourself small, stopping yourself shining because it's not safe to shine, because you've learned there's something wrong with you. You've learned there's something broken about you. There is nothing wrong about you. You are safe to shine. You deserve to be exactly what Lex says. You deserve to be seen, Jennifer. I see you and you deserve, and it is safe. It is safe to be seen for exactly who you are. So I am going to go through my 3 eyes of an empowered life. We're going to trademark it, me and Alexi. Eyes like the letter I, not eyes like I see you eyes. And maybe they are I see you eyes. Maybe that's what it is. The 3 I see you eyes of an empowered life. And I'll break them down a bit more, but the 3 of them. First, getting your inspiration, feeling inspired, knowing what pleases you, knowing what fires you up, knowing that you're living your life for you and not for someone else, not living your life because it's what is expected or you've been told to do. So finding your inspiration. Second one is then really getting clarity on your identity. We've all been given identities. Your parents have told you things, your teachers told you things, you fitted into a certain group at school, and either now you're really obsessed with fulfilling that identity because that's who I am, and if I'm not that, who am I? Woo! Or we become obsessed with like, I am not that identity. I never want to be that ever again, and we try our utmost to never be that thing, even if maybe it really is authentically us. So really getting clarity on your identity. And then integrating that in the world. Once I know exactly who I am and I know what my identity is and who I am, what I stand for, what I'm doing here, what gifts am I bringing to this world and this life while I happen to be on this planet, now I can go out with that absolute unshakable confidence and share myself with the world, whether that's just going out my front door, into a job interview, into a meeting, into a networking event, out on the Burlesque stage. So that's what we're going to be looking at. And I don't remember what time I started talking, so we'll see. Thank you, Jennifer Watson. Where's Jennifer Watson? I didn't see what your last name was. Jennifer Watson, not in the way. Thank you so much. So that's what we're going to do. And my goal is for you to leave this meeting feeling super excited about who you are and never again self-doubting of like, am I wearing the right clothes? Am I going to say the right thing? Are they going to criticize me for the thing? Blah, blah. And we'll all put our cameras on next Zoom meeting, and it doesn't matter if we're eating or not because we don't care. So that's where we're at. So inspiration, firing yourself up. This is the main thing with burlesque, is that a lot of my students will come to me. I'm talking about burlesque because that's my world. When I talk about the burlesque stage, integrate that into going the stage of the world. When we're walking around the world, we are being looked at, we're around people. Our audience are the other people in the world, right? So when I say the stage and the audience, that's what we're talking about. So a lot of my students will say, well, what music is acceptable? What does the audience want? What's going to get me booked? What's going to get me jobs? What's going to get you booked and what's going to get you jobs is you presenting a product and a service and a piece of art that makes you super happy. I can't second guess what my clients want. I can't second guess I want to be super like, this is my product. And if you don't want that product, well, maybe I'm not the right person for you. I want to find the person who's my right product, right? I can't be all things to all people. So if I'm not super sure about my product, my client's not gonna be super sure about me, and then I'll serve nobody at all. So I used to talk to people about, it's like the kid who gets the toy truck for their birthday. It's like Alexi who got what he wanted for his birthday, all of us in the room, right? And they're like, look at this fire truck. It has 4 wheels and it has a little spout and it's red and it's shiny and it's this and it's that. And look at my fire truck. Ah! And we get so excited by the joy that kid has with the fire truck. We don't want the fire truck. We don't necessarily even want to play with it. I certainly don't want to buy it from him, but I want to spend more time around this kid who's super excited about the fire truck. And he's so excited by it. But now maybe I do want to stop what I was doing and play with a fire truck like a 7-year-old. And now he's convinced me I want this thing too. He didn't go, hey, look at this fire truck. It's exactly what you want. Look, you want 4 wheels and here's why you want 4 wheels. He just demonstrates it. He just bees. So when I'm on stage doing my burlesque act, I'm doing what I like and I'm thinking it's amazing. And I'm saying I'm having super fun with this. And I'm teaching the audience that that's something that they want to. Same in your business, same in your services, same in your dating world. You're not going, please date me. You're going, hey, look how much fun you'd have if you just came along through life with me. So getting your inspiration, firing yourself up, being excited about the fire truck that is you. So knowing yourself and pleasing yourself. Thing I think it's super easy for everyone to do right now, this moment, when the call ends, even now while I'm speaking, everything you do in your life, the time you get out of bed, whether you drink coffee in the morning, whether you go to the gym or not, whether you spend time on your Zoom, do you like horror films? Do you walk your dog? Do you have a dog? All of these things, just take stock of how many of those things you are literally doing because you have chosen to do them, and how many you're doing because you feel obligated. It's a learned habit. It's just something you used to do because your ex-roommate used to do it. Sometimes my husband, we got married. He'll be like, oh, I made you coffee. And I go, oh, thanks. And I go and drink it. And I'm like, wait, did I even want coffee in the first place? Right? Like, just because you made it for me, I'm now obligated to drink this. Maybe I was trying to give up caffeine. Who knows? So just like have a little look, like, am I parking in the street because whatever, but just look at the minutia, the tiny, tiny things, because they build up, they really build up, and start with the small things and then check. And I'm not saying you have to change it. I'm not saying, I'm like, no, I shall never drink the coffee you make for me ever again. But I can have that moment of, do I feel tired? Do I need this caffeine? Do I want this coffee? Actually, yes, I do. Thank you very much. Or, hey, you know what? Thank you so much for thinking about me. I actually don't really need it right now. And to just have that confidence to say, yes, thank you, or no, thank you, is the first step in not just going along with what everyone else is expecting of you and wanting of you and throwing in your world. So don't change everything. You don't have to change anything. Just check that you chose to do that. The way you go to work, the way you all the things. So check, take stock. And then you can also look at the person I'm wanting to be, right? We're all improving. We're all trying to be better than we were the day before. Who are you wanting to be in 5 years' time? How do they spend their day? What are they doing with their hours of life? And what can you throw into your life right now that you don't have to wait until you have the perfect partner or the perfect job or earn a certain amount of money? If I say, oh, when I'm super rich and famous and blah, 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 I'm going to be able to have time to do yoga 5 minutes a day. Well, how about you just carve out 5 minutes a day to do yoga right now? You can still do that. You don't have to wait until this or wait until that. I would fly first class. Well, maybe just book a first class ticket next time you fly and just experience what it's like. Because you know what? Maybe you hate first class and now you've been waiting so long to get a thing you thought you wanted. Test it out, try it out. So take stock. Then you're going to purge. This is the second part of it. You're inspiring. Get rid of the stuff you don't want in your life. If you've, I bought this, I was going to do contact juggling. What a random reference that is. Have you ever seen Labyrinth, the film Labyrinth? Yeah. And he has that little ball and he does it, and it's called contact juggling. And I thought it was the most magical thing. I want to learn how to contact juggle. It's beautiful. And I bought this contact juggling ball and it's sat on my desk for like 20 years. And I picked it up and it's difficult and it's annoying and you drop it and downstairs hate you because it's ugh. And I looked at my life like, you know what? Either I learn to contact juggle now, or I just commit to the fact that I don't need that in my life. Get it out. Who else wants my contact juggling ball? So start decluttering the things you're doing with your time, the things that are in your house, the people you're spending time with. I went to visit my brother, right? I went to visit my brother 11 years ago because it's expected I spend Christmas with him. Now I'm Vixen DeVille. Soup's amazing. I'm the best person in the world, all that stuff. And I go home to my brother and I become my 6-year-old self again. And I'm terrified of him. I let him walk all over me. I let him criticize what I'm wearing and what I do with my life. And I thought, I'm Vixen DeVille. Like, don't you know who's in your presence right now? I'm being sarcastic, of course, facetious, whatever. But I thought, why am I allowing this person to make me feel this way? I'm not enjoying my time. I don't want to be here. He probably doesn't want me to be here. And there's a million other people. Alexi, I'm sure you'd have me come around for Christmas, right? You'd appreciate my time. So I said to my mom, I was like, I'm not going to see him again. I don't enjoy being in his presence. And yes, he's my brother. We're related by blood. Doesn't live in this country. I just am not going to go. I'm not going to see him again. So purge, declutter. What do you not need in your life? What do you not need? Because once you've decluttered, you can do the third step where you can now make space for the new stuff and explore. Who do you want to spend your time with? What do you want in your life? What new skill do you want to learn instead of stupid ass contact juggling? So start exploring, join a meetup group, join a Facebook group, go to a book reading class, learn to do pottery and try it out with no expectation on the results. I find as parents, I find that as adults, anything we try, we expect to be good at, or we give ourselves pressure to be good at. And if you're good at it, well, how can I make money out of this? We never just do something, right? Oh, I'm good at this thing. I'm going to start selling on Etsy. You don't need to sell everything you make on Etsy. You can just appreciate it and give it to your friends. So trying stuff out, going rock climbing, doing the thing, trying first class tickets on an airplane, try things out so that you can now find what is firing you up and find what is you do want to fill your life with. So that's your inspiration. Take stock, purge, and then fill it by exploring what else exists. By this point, you should really get a clear idea of what really does fire me up. What kind of person am I? I thought I wasn't a morning person, but I've been getting up super early and going for a run, and now I am a morning person, whatever it is. Find out who you are. So once you found out who you are, now you can really get clarity on your identity. And the first thing you're going to do that is you're going to find your playground so that you've got your other people to play with who are also finding theirs. Because when I start trying to change who I am or who people think I am, right, it shakes up their world a bit. And they start going, oh, can't you cut your hair? Oh, you've been losing weight. Oh, you've not been going to the thing for a while. You've been missed at karaoke. Where have you? But Alexi's like laughing. What? He's like, I've been there. I know that experience. So we try to change who we are, but everyone else gets super, either it's the fear of, oh, they're changing, they're making improvements, which now highlights my inability to make a change and make improvements. Or they think they're going to lose the person that they're in love with. They're going to lose that person that they've grown to love and spend time with. And you can be like, look, I'm still me. I'm just exploring, just having a chat. So find your playground of other people who are wanting to look into rock climbing, speaking, entrepreneurship, whatever it is. And then you can play with those people and share your wins and your challenges around people who understand the jargon, they understand that world, rather than trying to explain it to your friends and your family and your other people who have no idea what you're talking about. So find your playground, find your people online, offline. Then we're going to start rewriting our story. And an exercise I love to work with my students, I'll go through it very briefly, is to look at something that you love about yourself and something that you don't love about yourself. Because in burlesque, I'm saying bring everything that you are onto the table into that stage space, because you are your authentic, amazing, beautiful self. And if you leave anything behind and leave anything off stage, then you're not all that you are. Everything that I am makes me Cat. If I start trying to pick and choose what I allow people to see, then I'm not all Cat. It's not all of me. So this goes with both the things that you love and the things that you hate. The thing you don't like about yourself, something physical you want to hide, something that you've had to cover up or modify or make sure someone doesn't see, part of your body, a behavioral trait you have. Maybe you have a stutter, or you like to hug people, you're super loud all the time, you're late for stuff, whatever it is a behavioral trait you have. Or there's something that you did that you're really embarrassed by. I hope to God they don't find that out. Or I hope no one mentions this. So there's something that we don't like about ourselves that we're terrified people are going to find out or see or mention. So that puts up a barrier. And then there's something that we love about ourselves that someone's come along in our life and gone, you shouldn't be doing that. You shouldn't be showing that part of your body. Oh, you should feel bad about that part of your body. Oh, you shouldn't behave that way. That's inappropriate. Questions. Or there's something that you did that you've achieved and that you love, and people have gone, and you don't want to mention it to people. So I get people to really start reframing the thing that they don't like about themselves. Why is it your unique selling point or unfair advantage, as Alexi likes to say? Scars on my shoulders, are they ugly? Should I Photoshop them out? Should I cover them up because they look ugly and disgusting and weird? No. I'm going to say, what do I like about these? I'm a warrior. I'm a survivor. I've been through something. I've got a fun story to tell. So now when Alexi goes, have you got scars on your shoulders, Kat? I'm not going to go, oops, shouldn't have seen those. I'm going to go, oh, I do, Alexi. Let me tell you a fun story. And now we have a connection rather than me going, oh, don't look at it. Don't mention the thing. So confidence in that thing that we've learned to hate. How can we reframe that? So when people mention it, bring it up, we don't mind, because we can talk about it and accept it and talk about that in a confident way. And then the thing that you love, rather than trying to hide it and change it for the mediocre people in the world, becoming a mediocre version of yourself, the people in the world who don't appreciate it, I'm not gonna hide the part of me that I love because it makes my brother feel more comfortable. I'm gonna say, you know what? I use that as a filter in my life. I'm going to act as a lighthouse and a beacon for the other people who love that in me too. I'm going to find my Alexis and my Jennifers and my Pams and my Michael Maxwells, because I'd rather hang around with them for Christmas rather than my brother who doesn't appreciate the fabulous me that is shining. Right? Yes, Jennifer. Ha. So reframing, rewriting your stories of the things you love, the things you hate, the things that you've been told to hide. And then we're going to look at reclaiming or shunning our labels. We talked about labels a little bit earlier, and how if we have all these labels, we can either defend them to the grave or shun them like they're the devil. And we can just start taking the power out of these labels. So something I like to do is to get people to write down a whole bunch of labels they've been told from various different people. And I worked with a student, oh my gosh, 2 weeks ago. And she's like, oh, as soon as you said the word label, I thought you meant something negative. And I was like, a label's just a label. You go in the grocery store, the label says milk, the label says orange juice, the label says sausage, the label says cheese. They're not good or bad. It's just the label has been given, right? But it's our human selves that start to interpret them as positive or negative. And so I like to pull away from saying it's positive or negative. It's the feeling that it gives you. So you can try right now. If you want to write down some labels that you've been given, and again, not positive, but just remember, oh yeah, my friends used to call me this. My parents used to call me this. My ex-boyfriend or girlfriend used to call me this. Labels that you've given yourself begrudgingly. Oh, I'm a little bit this, I'm a little bit that. Labels you've given yourself pridefully. Oh, I'm actually really this, I'm actually really this. Labels that you're super proud of, labels that you've not heard of, that you don't like to identify with. Labels people give you now, labels Alexi would give you. How would Alexi describe you? Write down those labels. So once you've got your labels written down, go through that list and notice which ones have the yummy feelings around them and which ones have the you feelings around them. And I did a similar thing like this with one of my acting coaches. And I had to write down where I was from and some other things. And I had to say, I am all of the things. And one of the things I had to say was, I am from Newcastle, which is this northern place in London. Northern place in England. It's got a lot of connotations that I think are negative about it. So I hadn't realized that I go around going, I'm from Newcastle, and that's something I'm really apologizing for. And he's like, all these labels, they are all you. And I'll get into this because I know there's some like, no, that's not true. I'm still from Newcastle. I grew up there for 18 years. There's elements of a Newcastle person that still live in me. And now I can get to grips with, yeah, I'm from Newcastle. I'm a little bit rough around the edges. I can drink 12 pints of Noogie Brown and not fall over. Like, yay me. Newcastle Brown Ale is where I'm from, where they make Newcastle Brown Ale. Yes, clarity is power. So being able to say, yes, I am to all these labels and just feel what that feels like. And then start saying, no, I'm not, because an element of me is not from Newcastle. My mom brought me up in Newcastle and she's not from there. She felt like a foreigner in Newcastle. So there's elements of me that is not from Newcastle. So try it out. Go through all those labels and you can say, yes, I am, and see how that feels. And then go through all those labels and go, no, I'm not. And just see, okay, let me feel how I feel with those. So we've got the ones that make us have the yummy feelings. Great. We can take those on board. When Alexi says you're from Newcastle, I go, yeah, I am. Absolutely. Because now I've got yummy feelings around it. But the ones that aren't yummy feelings, how do we deal with those? Well, what we're going to do is throw them into a thesaurus and see if there's any words that are similar, right? Jennifer's done this. Any words that are similar that are the yummy feelings. Or any words in our list any words in our list already that could be the same thing. I had this with a girl, same event I did 2 weeks ago, and she says, people call me obedient, and I hate people calling me obedient. Like, I don't know what word that would be. I said, well, what other words are on your list? And she said, smart. I said, so maybe when you're obedient, you're just being smart, right? If I told you, get out this burning building, and you did it, what's bad about that, being obedient? You're smart. You went, this person of authority is telling me to leave a burning building. I will therefore do it. And if you're the sort of person who isn't obedient and likes to question and be a rebel, and you stay in that burning building just to prove a point, not being very smart, are you? So we looked through these words to find out which of these words she could collaborate. And which was interesting was that she read her words that she liked, and one of them was weird. She's like, I love being called weird. I was like, that's so interesting, because a lot of people are like, don't call me weird. So I was like, okay, what are the words? And she said, the word broken. She had scoliosis as a kid, and she'd been called broken, and she's like, I hate being called broken. I said, so maybe it's just something that's different. When something's broken, it looks different to how it looked before. Maybe you're just weird. Maybe broken means weird, it's the same thing. So where this all comes from is this idea that, and I forget who said this, I need to look up if this is a quote or just something I heard someone say once. Nobody knows the color of your eyes better than the person looking at them, because you have no idea what your eyes are. You've never seen them. You've seen them in the Zoom camera. You've seen them in the mirror. You've not actually looked at your own eyes. So the person giving you labels, they're seeing something that's rooted in truth. If I give you the worst word you don't ever want to be called, if I'm honestly saying it to you, I see something that is in there, but I just don't know how to articulate it correctly. So if someone meets me and I'm a strong, confident woman, and they go into their brain and they go, oh my gosh, this with my sister, this with my mother, I was bullied by women, whatever. I now interpret that as you're intimidating. And then come to me and go, oh my God, you're so intimidating. Now I can hear the word intimidating and go, oh my God, that's horrible. And I mean, and now she thinks I'm an absolute bitch. Like it's been filtered by one person and then filtered by another person. And now there's absolute no connection. If they filter that in and go, you're intimidating, I can't do anything about that person. Everyone's on their own journey, doing their own thing, right? But now I can, as a little computery robot, hear that word intimidating and think, okay, thesaurus, compute. She means I'm feisty. She means I'm honest. I stand up for myself. And oh, wow, she finds that intimidating. Let's have a conversation about that, you know? And I can say, oh, wow, you find me intimidating. that, yeah, I guess I really do sort of stand up for myself. I'm quite feisty, or, oh, why are you feeling intimidating? Oh, I'm just super excited to be here. So I'm a little bit much right now, but I don't apologize. I'm a little bit much. I go, yeah, I can see how I could be a little bit much. Why is that, kind of thing? So I have these 3 sentences. Once you've got all of these labels that feel yummy in you, I have a lot of feel yummy in you. I have a lot of labels that I'm like, yes, I'm all these labels. This is great. And so when people say negative things to me, I can go, oh, they're seeing that. Oh, they're seeing that. So the 3 sentences, if you have a word and someone says, you're this thing. Yes, and I can go, yes, I can take it on board and go, yes, you are seeing this thing, and it's actually this and this and this. So, oh God, you're so intimidating. Yeah, I can see how I can come across intimidating. And I just like really standing up for myself. I can see how I come across intimidating. I'm just really honest about things. When I see something, I say it. So yes, and it. You can also accept it and say yes. Say and what. So I hear that you're saying it, and what, which really puts the emphasis on the other person to explain themselves. So someone says, oh God, you're so intimidating. And what? Why is that? I mean, what, why are you saying that? Oh, it's just that my sister used to like shout at me, and it really, oh, wow. Yeah. Oh, let's have a conversation about that. Wow. And now I'm connected to somebody. Or someone goes, oh, you've got scars on your shoulders. And what? Oh, I know, I just noticed them. I'm really intrigued. And now I'm like, oh, they weren't saying you've got scars on your shoulders. Ew, that's disgusting. They were like, oh, you've got scars on your shoulders. Can I ask what happened? So now it opens up, rather than me because if you have a force and you block it, if you have a force and you take it, then we're not going to have any of that friction and that power. So if I go, and what? Like, explain yourself. Why are you picking this out? So yes, and what? And maybe to you. So, oh my God, you're so intimidating. Well, maybe to you, but I'm just being honest. Maybe to you I am, but in my circle of friends, we like to just say what we think. It's just banter. I had someone who's dealing with their weight, and someone said, oh, you're so overweight. You're like, maybe to you, I just lost 30 pounds. You've just seen me before. Like, how dare you walk around and criticize me? Like, whatever. I'm super healthy. Like, maybe to you I am, but actually. So then you're hearing what they say, but you're correcting them and you're educating them. So that's you having this absolute strength in your identity. I found my playground. I'm exploring this new version of myself. I'm really getting to grips with the things I've learned to apologize for. I've learned to hide, and now I don't have to hide or apologize for them anymore. And now I've really got my words and my armor. I don't have to hide anymore, because I've got my armor of my wording and my way to correct people and my way to take on any criticism or comments that previously I'd have been like, whoop, what about that? So now we've got that strong identity, we move on to the third one, which is integrating and going out into that world. So whether that is the playground that you're in, like start small, start in like a comfortable place. For me, it was the burlesque stage, where I could bring in this new character version of me, wearing different clothing, saying different things, acting a certain different way, and then retrain my brain that, oh, it's absolutely fine. And then because I was like that on stage, I would then get it to be habit. So I would habitually be this person off stage, and things would come out of my mouth, or I'd behave a certain way, or whatever it was that I'd be on stage, but now I'm just doing it my normal life. So start going out into your first dates and your job interviews and your networking events and all these things, and start letting this new you kind of filter out, play around with this being the new you. And once you've got comfortable with that, now you can start going to places of your past. I'm sure I will see my brother again. And when I do, I'm gonna be like, yo, hey, how you doing? This is me. I don't apologize myself. Maybe to you, and what? Yes, and I'll say all of those things, because I'm so much more comfortable in who I am right now. But I needed to retreat away from his space in order to do the work on myself. So now we can go into places from our past, or old environments, or old friends. And then the second part of this integration, yes, we can confidently share ourselves with people. But the more that we found this new version of ourselves, we still need to do that check-in. We still need to take stock every so often. Because when I got into burlesque and I absolutely loved it, there was a point in time where I thought, am I now just doing this out of habit? am I now just doing this because this is the norm? Do I actually even really like burlesque, or have I just got the identity of I'm Kat, I do burlesque? When I moved to America in 2012, I gave it up. I was going to be doing just film and TV acting. I brought 3 costumes with me in case I needed the money. And I gave up burlesque and I missed it. Oh my gosh, the lifestyle and the people and the community and just the venting and the creativity. And I was like, no, this is who I am. So I now know that there is something at the core of who I am that I'm not going to ever give up for a career promotion or for a new relationship, or if someone says, oh, you can have this thing, but you're going to have to give up burlesque. Well, I've checked in with myself and I know that that's something that's one of my deal breakers, right? Can I give up coffee? Probably. Can I give up contact juggling? Absolutely. Can I give up burlesque? Not yet. Not yet is the answer to that one, because it's never going to be, hard and fast forever, ever, ever. Maybe in 5 years' time, I'll be like, well, yeah, I've done my time, So take stock, but maintenance, keep checking in with yourself. Am I holding on to this identity because now I'm fearful that if I'm not this, I don't know who I am. And then we're going to become the leader and the lighthouse for other people. So now you know who you are. Now you've figured out who you are. If you trained your brain that who you are is absolutely fine. You've got your labels and your this is my identity. And now you're integrating the world, you're sharing with the world. Now you can start being the leader for others, creating those safe exploration places, leading by example. If I'm going on stage, being open and confident as a burlesque performer, people in the audience can sit there and go, oh my gosh, she can be like this. She can say these things. Maybe I can too. There's a scene in Pretty Woman, and they're in this restaurant, and I'm saying this because it came out on a podcast I did yesterday, and she's there all dressed like in this, very, very well dressed, and they're eating lobster or something like that, and she doesn't know what fork to use, and it's like, oh, they're gonna find me out, and the dude next to her, like old corporate dude, is like, oh, I just use my fingers, nom 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 nom. And because he was so comfortable in who he was, and he has all the money, he has nothing to prove, he sits in this really fancy restaurant using his fingers and making it all messy. And so he was the lighthouse and the beacon to say, you're allowed to do it too. And she goes, whatevs. And she's nom 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 as well. Nom nom nom, my favorite little So the more open and playing by your own rules and free and non-judgmental and non-apologetic that you are, the more others will see you, the ripple effect Alexi was talking about, and they'll be like, ooh, maybe I can do it too. And you give them permission to be them. So that's my 3 eyes of empowered life. I saw a couple of people just jump along. Brendan, you missed an amazing talk by a fabulous British person. That was me.
I'm terribly sorry.
I think there's a replay of some kind. I'm sure you can see it. So that's my gift to you was that little process you can go through. And Alexi, I don't know if there's a download thing we talked about or a thing, but I'm going to pass it on to you. Just go out in the world, be exactly who you are, be confidently you, so we can allow others to be confidently themselves, and we can all be our unmasked fabulous versions. Thanks, Pam. Thanks for your little yay, a little applause. Alexi, over to you.
Well, Ms. Kat, again, thank you so much for showing up, being who you are, the authentic, heart-centered self that you are. I did hear you say that you're going to do a one day that will be available for these amazing people as part of our gift, where you're actually going to take these 9 principles and really expand them and answer their questions, and like, listen, this is your opportunity to get this as a true gift, because I know when Ms. Kat puts it together, I will recommend that you'll charge for this. I'm just saying. And she will. And the only other thing is, I do know that you have an event coming up very shortly, which is June 22nd. Can you tell us a little bit about that?
Yes, absolutely. So it's June 22nd to the 24th. It's called Your Burlesque Breakthrough. And it's you having the breakthrough you want at your level. You may not want to be a burlesque performer. 100% understand that. after you spent some time with me, you're gonna want it. But you'll be like, let me be on that stage. But it is taking you through all of that exploration of like, who am I? What is my identity? We create your burlesque persona backstory and your burlesque persona name. So mine is Vixen DeVille. I'm 111 to 12 years old, and my father owned the entire universe. He gave me Earth and a Kinder Egg when I was 21 years old. And you create this backstory, almost like how Beyonce says she becomes Sasha Fierce when she goes on stage. If I can get this idea of exactly who Vixen DeVille is, then I am able to step into her skin when I need that emotional support human. And I've had it when I've been at events where I'm like, I need to go in this room and I'm terrified to go into this room. Yeah, but Vixen DeVille will go in this room. Like Vixen DeVille would not have put up with that brother shit, right? You know? So really using the techniques from burlesque, but applying them to the stage that is your life. So we're doing that for three days. I have 4 or 5 other speakers coming in as well. I have a voice coach. I have Rick Clemens from Life Uncloseted, who's talking about how you really explain to your friends and family that you're now a new person kind of thing. So he's taken it from just being, oh, I'm gay, to I am a new version of myself. How do you explain that to people? So there's a lot of fun stuff we're going to be doing for the 3 days. And by the end of it, you're going to feel fabulously amazing you, and you can't wait to share yourself with other people.
And I heard that you're going to do something really crazy and special.
Well, I was going to give the 1 day away for free. And then Alexi was like, you should be charging. I was like, no. And I was like, well, maybe I'll give the 3 day away for free. And you're like, oh, yeah. And I was like, maybe I should just do both, because then you don't have to make the decision of which one you want to do. So we're going to just throw a little code in so that you can do both of those events and have more cat meow in your life.
Wow. You blow my mind yet again. And the truth of it is, this is authentic. Kat's training and her methodology is so amazing. I literally was like almost going to put my credit card to go to her 3-day event. And we had a conversation about this event. And she's like, oh my God, it's your birthday. What if I gift you the event? And I'm like, oh my God, that would be amazing, because I was going to do it anyway. And she goes, oh, you know what? Let me do something even more crazy. I'm going, what is that? She goes, what if I gift it to everybody? And that's truly her amazing heart and how she shows up in the world. So, you know, Kat, you are a sister from a different mister, and you truly have an open standing invitation for Christmas, Thanksgiving. You pick the date. My door is always open to you. You are family. And, you know, to give credit where credit is due, Miss Pam was the one relationship way for us to connect. And here's a bit of a quick story. I'm not going to go too much into it because we do have our next guest speaker that's about and ready to go. When Miss Pam put together her one relationship, I am one relationship away. No, but her Yes Mastermind experience, she said, I'm committing to this day. I'm going to do this. We're going to promote and everything. And next thing I know, the day comes, or the day before, we realize something went wrong with marketing and there's nobody signed up. I think maybe 1 or 2 people, which really didn't make sense to do a 3-day event for 2 people. But we still said, you know what? Let's do it. The speakers committed, they're coming. I would share with you that it was one of the most transformational events for me. The content was amazing, the people was amazing, and I got to meet an amazing human being that's now in my life that just makes my life not the same in the most beautiful ways possible. Pam, you wanted to share?
I had a question for Kat.
Oh.
All right, so it seems very obvious to me that you are offering this program for men and women. So I want you to, because when I think of burlesque, I think of Gypsy Rose Lee. Mm-hmm. So, you know, can you talk a little bit to how men can generate from this, you know, core that you're teaching? Because how it lands to me, of course, you know, I know, because I chase you down every time I do an event to have you come, because you bring a a foundation of love and power to people to be comfortable in their skin. And that is something that I advocate. But it's very clear to me, this is not just a female conversation. So could you address that, please?
That's so funny. I always forget to like mention that. And I always like, oh yeah, no, everyone thinks burlesque is for women. And I always forget that because I've been in it for so long, I just forget. So I don't, and this is not for all burlesque teachers, but this is for me because it is self-discovery and self-expression, self-celebration. I don't look at anyone being female or male. Everyone is just their own person, and the label of Kat, Alexi, Pam, we're not male, female, whatever. I have all different trans, I have male, I have female, I have non-gender specific, I have, and people come to me and they go, well, I'm kind of this, or I'm kind of that. I'm like, you don't even have to tell me what you are. You're just you, like, just come and discover who you are. And I had a woman come to my intro class and she's like, I want to sign up. I want to do this thing. And she took the workbook home and her husband started reading it. He's like, can I do this too? And the two of them did the course together. And I always say to people, how do you want to feel on stage? Because I use this performance piece to experience a feeling you don't get in your normal life. And some people say, I want to feel sexy. I want to feel powerful. I want to feel cutesy. I want to feel super fun. This woman had been through a physical, she'd been in a wheelchair for like 5 years and she just started walking again. And she said, I want to feel normal. I want people to see me as normal. That's all I want in this 3 to 5 minutes. And so she worked on an act where she was not in the chair and moving around as a normal person. And he said, I want to be seen to be desired because I'm always goofy and silly and funny, but I don't think I've ever been like the man of someone's dreams. And I want to just feel like I'm the man of someone's dreams. And that's how I want to feel. So he did this whole act where he was like, it was a dream, a little dream of me. And so that was specifically the piece of music he chose. But also it gives people to check out. Like I've done drag king. I've done a whole act where I start off as a man and I strip off into a woman. I've had people who start off as women and strip off into a man. I've had men do, they start off as, oh my God, the guy in Psycho, and he strips off and he's actually the mother himself. And it's just for you to explore different personas and characters. And it's not about your sexuality. Am I gay? Am I straight? All those things. It's just, let me explore what else exists, because I've been told my whole life, this is the norm. Men have been told they can't cry, they can't show their emotion, or they have to be this, or they have to be that. And maybe you didn't. Maybe you grew up with a super open woman mother who was like, you can cry, you can do this, you can do this. And they were like, I just want to feel macho. Like whatever it is that you just want to feel, this is a space to now explore, who do I want to be? How do I want to feel? And how do I want people to see me? How do I want to be seen? Does that answer your question?
Yes. And the thing is that's there for me is that I don't like labels, but if you were to have a conversation about body shame, it's not a male female conversation. Whatever it is, like I really love, like for instance, for me, so I will say this because there's freedom here, especially because you're here and your energy's here, but I have a mole on my nose. I have a mole. And when I was growing up, people called me a witch because there's a mole on my face. And I was completely dominated by this all my life. And when I was 23, I went to a plastic surgeon and asked him how much it would cost to remove it, because I'm so dominated by this mole, right? And he told me it would be $20,000 and the insurance wouldn't cover it because it's cosmetic. And then he coached me. He said, but I wouldn't remove it if I were you, because the thing about it is that all surgery is a risk.
Yeah.
Any surgery where they have to put you under and use a knife to cut into your skin is a risk. There's a root to that mole, and when we take it out, that root will still be there. And that root, when it heals, that scar will be more than that mole. It'll be like right now, unless I say it like I've just told the whole room I have a mole, and now everyone is looking and go, oh, where's the mole? But
yeah, I bet you no one can see it. Like no one
exactly.
can.
Nobody notices it until I say it. Yeah, exactly. It's kind of like because of my age, I have a polio vaccination on my right arm. They don't do it that way anymore. Back when I was a kid, so there's this big scar on my right arm. we get caught up in it, but most people don't even see that stuff until we bring attention to it. And that's what the doctor was trying to say to me. And I took his advice. I didn't remove it. And now that I'm this age, I don't give a damn about that damn mole. I was consumed by it when I was a kid. Now it's like, oh yeah, I have a mole. Okay, I almost forgot which side it was on. I was touching it. And I said, oh no, it's on. It's you really got to get clear that in life, people will relate to you how you relate to yourself. And so that's what I love about you and your work and your experience and what you bring to the party is this lack of body shame. This whatever it is, it's perfect just the way it is and just the way it's not. And you are this beautiful, wonderful human being, and you bring that in droves to the room. So it's good to see you. Hello. And I just wanted to bring that out because I wanted men to know in the room that yes, it's a free thing she's giving away. Get your butt to that class because you need it to. Thank you.
Get it to the class. Thank you. Thank you for sharing that.
You know, and I actually wanted to reframe it for a moment. This is not free. This is a true gift because I've seen and I've observed Miss Cat. She knows what she's doing and she can transform your life if you allow her to, if you choose to play with her together. And Kat, again, thank you so much for such an amazing and beautiful way of showing up and loving the world for what it is, the authentic aspect.